right. Hello, everybody. Good Thursday afternoon. We are live again on our regular time. And I know that around the state right now, there are a number of people experiencing difficult weather scenarios. Uh, and my daughter, who is in Abilene at McMurray University, was telling me how much it was raining and really coming down in Abilene, and I hear that there are powerful storms moving throughout Fort Worth, Dallas area as well. Of course, it goes without saying. I hope you all are safe. Hope everybody is well and staying dry. Of course, we all need the rain, but we also want everyone to be safe. In the event that any of you need assistance, I hope that you will remember that the Texas Retired Teachers Association is the member-based organization that we work with. But we also have another organization called the Texas Retired Teachers Foundation. It's a 501c3 not-for-profit charitable organization that also does assistance for various disasters. We actually have a disaster relief fund. So let's pray that nobody needs to have any of that with this round of storms coming through Texas right now. But in the event that anyone needs to know more about that, you can always contact the Texas Retired Teachers Foundation. And my guess is that somebody is probably going to put a link to our TRTF website in the comments in the chat box. So it's good to see people starting to show up. Grateful that everybody is joining in, and wanted to just make sure that everyone has a couple of minutes to log in and get ready. Today's broadcast is going to be a little bit shorter. I'm not sure what week we are in, but today, of course, is March 2nd. It is Texas Independence Day. And so I hope all of you are remembering the great history lessons and the rich culture of our state of Texas and what is going on with Texas Independence Day. So feel very fortunate that we have this chance to be a part of your day as you might be thinking about this special occasion. So we're kind of dig into the activities of the week. As I said, this broadcast may be a little bit shorter than others, but for the last few weeks, I have been teasing a few things. I want to get to those, but as I said, this is March 2nd. And the good news is that because it is March, we are now officially into what we call the March is On. And so this is the month right before our big TRTA day at the Capitol. It's scheduled for April 11th and 12th. The official day at the Capitol is going to be on April 12th. We have about a month, y'all, to get ready for a major event. And for the last couple of shows, I've been telling everybody the Capitol is busy. Now, I was in the Capitol yesterday, and Texas Tech had a big day at the Capitol yesterday, and they had about 350 to 400 folks there. And it felt like the place was just jumping with activity. But my hope is that all of you that are watching, TRTA leaders that are watching this, TRTA chapter presidents, local our district presidents, legislative supporters, everyone who's involved in our organization. If you don't belong to a local, you certainly can also come. If you're not a member of TRTA, but you're a TRS retiree and you want to know what this experience is all about, I challenge you to show up on April 12th for our big day at the Capitol. You are going to get wowed by what we are able to do. I think we're going to have anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000. Man, I would love to have the biggest day at the Capitol this organization has ever hosted. Now, listen to me for a second. There's free ice cream. Free ice cream. We have an old-fashioned ice cream social on the east lawn of the Texas Capitol. You are going to have legislators coming out and visiting with us. We are going to be we're going to be working all day long, advocating on behalf of our retirees and pushing for that issue that all of us know we are working so hard to get to, and that is a cost of living raise. And We need you. We need you. I need every single one of you that are able to come to Austin to start making a plan. And I would love for some of the folks that are working as leaders in our organization right now, if you're typing in the comments section, just give me some idea of how many folks you think might be coming from your area. Doesn't you know it doesn't need to be an exact science, but if you know 3 or 4 people coming from your chapter, or if you're talking about bringing a bus or two from your district, just start putting some of those things in the comments. Let's get some excitement going. I mean, this is going to be our day. We are going to take over the Capitol building. Those legislators are going to have to ask us whether or not, well, maybe not that much, but you get my drift. We are going to have all of our members in the gallery in the House. We're gonna have our members in the gallery of the Senate. Nobody else is going to be able to get in. It's a great day. Legislators are already right now comparing other days at the Capitol that other groups have had right now this session against what we have done in the past. I have heard some of our Senate members say, "Hey, I see everybody up in the gallery wearing your red shirts." It reminds me of the time that the retired teachers come into town. But when they show up, they fill the entire place. So we need to make sure that we deliver. And we're excited about our big day at the Capitol. Now, again, this is a couple days worth of activity. I know that y'all may not be able to come for both days, but if you're showing up on April 11th, I have been teasing this for the last 2 weeks, and I want to go ahead and officially say that we have a special guest showing up for our day at the Capitol. And on the screen right now, you see an announcement for Ray Perryman, Dr. Ray Perryman. If you've received your newsletter, then you know that Dr. Perryman, he is a big deal, folks. He is a person who is an economist. He's a demographer. He is an excellent speaker. And he's a really nice guy. And if you are coming into our Day at the Capitol events for the April 11th timeframe, between 4:30 to 5:30, Dr. Ray Perryman is going to be our special guest at the Hilton Austin in downtown in the Governor's Ballroom. And it's free. You do not have to be staying at the hotel or anything like that. You are going to have a great time checking out this speaker. And I just noticed that my good friend Max Morgan is here. Awesome, Max. Great to see you. I see Dora is here. Judy is here. Loretta is here. Carol is here. Love seeing all of our friends checking in on both Facebook and YouTube. But as you all get ready for our major event, April 11th and 12th, if you're showing up April 11th, you do not want to miss Ray Perryman. All right, Roy, you can come off that slide. We're going to show that a couple more times in the month of March. I would encourage all of your friends to check TRTA out. This is an exciting time for our association. I feel like we're making great progress in the session. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But one final note on Ray Perryman. To give you some, quick reference, and you probably saw in our newsletter, our most recent newsletter. If you're a TRTA member, you get a quarterly news bulletin. In our most recent issue, we talked about Ray Perryman. Ray Perryman is most known by our members as the primary author and content creator for a brochure that is developed for the teacher retirement system of Texas called A Great Value for All Texans. And so Dr. Perryman does just an amazing job of working with TRS and providing a whole bunch of data on our retiree population and what you all represent to the state of Texas with our public pension system, TRS, as public pensioners, as community folks and people as part of the economy, both the state and local. You're not going to want to miss this, y'all. You are not going to want to miss Ray Perryman's presentation. It's going to get us real excited about showing up on April 12th. legislators are already asking me about when are we showing up? Who's coming from my district? Where can we meet up with folks? Again, if you're a leader in TRTA, I would encourage you to work with your local chapter and your folks that are coming and make some communication with your state elected officials and let them know who might be coming from your area. They love to know that sort of thing in advance. Oh, there's Nancy from Abilene. So good to see you, Nancy. Say hello to my daughter, Grace. Appreciate that. But let those folks know that you're coming and that you're going to bring some members. They want to see the hometown folks. This is an opportunity for all of us to come to Austin and be a part of this grassroots experience. And these legislators, I hope they've got big news. I hope they do. We're working on that. So let's keep our eyes focused on April 12th. If you're coming in for April 11th, you do not want to miss the Ray Perryman event. We're going to have other activities and things going on. You get a chance to come by and say hello. We just want you to be a part of this. As I said before, I would love to have, 3,000 people. It's not impossible. It's going to be I hope it's going to be a beautiful April day. And as I said, ice cream. It's going to be a great experience. And quite truthfully, besides all of the excitement that we generate around this whole thing, it's an important event. Major things have happened during our day at the Capitol over the years. And so you being there is a tremendous experience, but it's also something that's a powerful statement and leaves an impression on the legislature. So please come. And since I mentioned TRS once already, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of things that your teacher retirement system is doing. One of them is very interesting, and we heard about it in the pensions meeting this week. Director Brian Guthrie with TRS, in his testimony to the pensions committee, started talking about the TRS retirees that are over age 100. And I forget the exact number, but it was close to, I think, 300 of these folks that are 100 years of age or older. And he said that the oldest, most senior retiree that we have in TRS is 109 years old, which is awesome. And if any of you are watching this and you might know some of these folks, tell them that we're so grateful for their years of service and for all that they're doing. All right. One other thing is TRS is also launched. All right, great. Thanks. TRTA member, TRTA member, our staff person, probably Cindy Sharp, has posted that 294 retirees over age 100. So thank you, TRTA staff. I've got the best staff. They're awesome. I love our folks who work for TRTA. They're just wonderful. I was saying that TRS has a new communications campaign also. They're doing some pretty interesting videos, and they have a video out on some TRS retirees and things that they do with one of my most dear and great friends, Terry Navarcall, who's also a TRTA board member. If you haven't checked out the most recent TRS video where Terry and her twin sister are starring in that production, please check it out. We're going to post it again to our social media. Go there and try it out, and you'll see someone who Terry is a firecracker. She's so much fun. I love her to death. She's a great board member and an excellent TRTA advocate. All right. So let's kind of cover some of the things that are going on right now in the legislative session. I wanted to talk some today about the pace of legislative session. I am going to have one of our very first guests on our broadcast soon. It's going to be Vicki Truitt. She is our TRTA contract legislative consultant. She is a registered lobbyist. She is someone who worked in the Texas legislature. I want her to come on and talk with me at some time soon about the pace of the legislative session. Last week, I talked about the momentum of session, and the momentum of legislative session seems to have shifted more into the business-oriented side with the committees and the budget work that's going on. and we're have ended the first 2 months of session, and you can tell that the momentum is building. More the longer hours, longer days, more days a week that everybody's working. The committees are picking up. That momentum is building, and there's a difference between momentum and pace. And so I want to talk about pace just for a second as we get into the things that have happened this week and kind of what we're looking forward to in the coming days. So the pace of the legislative session is the amount of effort that we know still lies ahead for the work that we have to do. We are a big, important priority for both the Senate and the Texas House. And because we are an issue that affects 500,000 people, and I think legislators are behind the scenes working on the ways that they want to try to help retirees this session. Of course, our push is for a COLA. That's what we're aiming for. And people are working on that right now. A lot of legislators working on it. And that is going to take a lot of time. I got an email this week from somebody who said, just do something already. And I read the email and I thought, I couldn't agree more. We are all people of action. We want to see things get done right away. The reality is that this is going to go, our issue is going to go the whole length of the session. And so we finished January and February. We have got March, April until the end of May. And the pace of the session, as we've already talked about on this broadcast, is a lot like a race where the relay is handing off that baton. And there's going to be a period of time where it gets closer to the end, but we are still at not quite even the halfway point of this legislative session. And I tell you this again, knowing that as the leaders in this organization and people that are checking us out and wondering what's happening with the COLA and why are things not happening fast enough and when can we expect to hear more of this, I want you all to know that we have a pace here that is going to require regular communication, regular work, regular activity, regular engagement for months. This is not going to be over anytime soon. And so the reason that I'm bringing that up today is because as we get deeper into this legislative session, more and more of the folks that we're going to need to engage with are going to start dealing with other organizations, less experienced organizations that don't understand the pace at which this stuff plays out. And our objective, besides informing you all of what's happening in the session, is to help make everyone a better advocate, so that at the end of the session, we get more of what we need for our members and the people in TRS. And because the pace still has a long way to go, we still have a long bit of this race to go. We are definitely not in the final sprint. We have to be steady, and we're not falling behind. So we're running the race, but we also have to be measured. And so right now, the most important things that you all can be doing is staying in regular communication with your legislator's office. Check in once a week. Doesn't need to be more than once a week. People are asking me, well, what bill numbers are we focusing in on? As I've said before, we have been tracking bills from the beginning. The bills are going to start. There's going to start being a priority of where those bills kind of develop. We've got elected officials that we're working with right now to get ready for committee hearings and do all sorts of other things. We are going to be communicating this information out as it starts to fit into this process. And so please know that while we are in this, there are just some things that we're doing right now, and there are going to be other things that we need to do in the coming weeks. And right now, it's relationship building. Please, I am so, I would say begging, but I'm desperately needing all of our regular watchers and supporters to continue to build those strong relationships with your elected official's office. Checking in once a week is good. Sending an email is good. Developing that connection to the office, asking if there's something that we can do to communicate to retirees. Is there some information that we can share? How are you all doing? What's going on with the TRS issues? Is there anything that our association leadership can get to your office? Anything that is support building and is there are two kinds of things that happen in session. There are the people who know how to do this and they work real hard to make sure those relationships are strong. And then the other side of this is you got a whole bunch of people that call legislative offices that the only thing they are is angry and they shout and yell and scream, and it's hard to deal with them. And so we want to be firmly in that camp of the folks that are professional, organized. We know what we're trying to get accomplished. We are informational, and we're developing those relationships. So the pace of the session is we're starting to get more into this. And again, we are going to be looking for some things happening in the next few weeks. The biggest items that are going to start occurring will be budget meetings. We'll get more clear about what components of how the budget is coming together. There will be committee hearings on bills that have been filed related to TRS. Some of those committee hearings will occur in the House and some will occur in the Senate. We'll keep you updated on when those things start happening. And again, let me take just a real quick pause. I want to say, listen, y'all, we owe a lot of gratitude and thanks to our friends at the Austin Retired Teachers Association for both the Article 3 subcommittee hearing that we had this week on Monday, and then again, pensions meeting on Wednesday. We had Austin Retired Teacher Association local chapter members sitting in the Capitol building, being that visual presence while those things were going on. And so a big shout out to our volunteers that come to the Capitol and sit in those seats for hours and hours and hours so that we have a visible presence during those committee hearings. Y'all, if you haven't had an opportunity to communicate with someone about why it's important to be a member of TRTA, hopefully through these broadcasts, you will start hearing and learning more about this total picture of what we do as an organization and how our volunteers are so into being a part of this, whether you all live in El Paso or in Paris, Texas, or in Decatur or in Mission. You know, we have retirees all over the place. And this week, we were very fortunate to have our Austin RTA folks there. I was very pleased to have some of our TRTA leaders in town this week. Our state association president was in town again this week. So again, we are putting on as much of an effort as we can throughout this session to build up to the very end of session, which I think is when we will see our issues really start to come together. So as I said, you know, today's message was going to be, you know, quick in nature, but I think it's important for all of us to understand that our stuff isn't going to be finished by April 12th. Our stuff isn't going to be finished probably by the end of April. We're going to go to the end. And that's probably good for us because if we're part of this process to the very end, that means they're still working on ways to make it better for us. My guess is pretty soon we're going to start seeing different proposals come specifically out about our issues. And when they do, we're going to obviously engage with you on those. But you know, as we wrap up this week, I really wanted to say it was a great week. Gary Van Dever, State Representative Gary Van Dever, Chairman of Article 3 Subcommittee, Representative Gervin Hawkins from San Antonio is the vice chair of that group. They both ran a great committee hearing talking about our TRS issues. TRTA was able to testify in that group. We promoted the concept of the COLA. We are going to get, we're going to have a program pretty soon about how inflation has impacted retirees' buying power. Just a quick, sneak peek into that. Some of our retirees have lost 34% of their purchasing power. And so we're delivering these messages to the state representatives in Article 3 subcommittee. Again, and I probably should have said that better. That's the budget portion of the Texas House. So the articles represent different things. Article 3 of the budget deals with funding for education. And so we fall under that budget priority. And so they break out into these work groups and they meet all day long and they talk about TEA, TRS, all of these issues. And then they start making these budget decisions. And so we were engaged in that process and I felt very welcome in those meetings and they listened. They're interested. They had great questions about how long it's been since retirees have had a raise. I remember John Bryant, State Representative John Bryant, was asking excellent questions during that hearing. So these are all the things that were occurring, and I thought overall it was a great week. Pensions meeting on Wednesday was excellent. Representative Giovanni Capriglione, who chairs the Pensions Committee, and also a very good friend of ours, Stan Lambert, state representative from the Abilene area, vice chair of that group, really ran a great committee hearing talking about the teacher retirement system of Texas. It was pointed out to those committee members that 95% of our retirees live in Texas after they retire, and so those dollars stay in Texas. Any benefit increase that'll come to retirees benefits all Texans. It helps the retirees specifically, but it helps the entire economy. Most of our retirees do not have Social Security. They talked about the WEP and the GPO. Overall, very educational week. It was a great week for engagement with retired teachers, experts, and staff and leaders. And so I am ending this week energized about the work that is getting done. I'm excited. I hope you can tell that I think we're making excellent progress. In the legislative session, just like we said 2 or 3 weeks ago, there are no guarantees. And so some weeks are good, some weeks are more challenging, but we never want to be drawn into any sort of, well, I guess this is over. We're doing fine. I guess, we're all going to get this colon. It's going to be great. Nothing is decided yet. We are in the educational and advocacy and organizational phase. And I want to say it again as we end this whole discussion today. The Capitol is full of people, and they all want the money. They all have a great idea. We have got to stay focused. We have got to stay visible. We have got to remain connected as an organized group of members. We as an organization, we're closing out our membership count for the year. Almost 96,000 members, I think, is where we're going to end up with total TRTA members for the previous membership year. In March, we start recruitment for renewal and joining the organization, and we're going to launch a member join campaign very soon. Y'all do great work trying to get folks to join this organization. There are 471,000 TRS retirees. 471,000 TRS retirees. And TRTA, the second largest education organization in the state of Texas, the largest retired teachers association in the country, representing 96,000 members, only has 1 out of every 4, not even that, members in our organization of folks that are now TRS retirees. We need these people. I don't know what they're doing sitting on the sidelines when the legislative session is going on and the advocacy needs to get done. But if you're watching this and you're not yet a TRTA member, I implore you to check us out. Matter of fact, I dare you to not join this, or to join this organization and see that we are not bringing you tremendous value for your $35 membership fee. Get involved in a local chapter. Those folks are having a great time. They're really organized. They're incredibly engaged, and they love doing this advocacy work along with all of the other activities that are happening in our local chapters. So, y'all, let's stay the course. Let's keep it up. Let's build this organization. Let's use the entire month of March to build relationship, get ready for our day at the Capitol, expect big things to occur, and put in all of the work that needs to get done as we start learning more about what the legislature is working on when it comes to providing retirees the first cost of living raise that anyone has seen in 10 years and that many people have never seen in 20 years. And so let's keep it up. I know y'all are doing a great job. Thank you for everything. Here's the final little tidbit that I want to give y'all today. If you have a question that you want to send me, that you want me to talk about during one of these events, please send it. If that question is, why do you all keep talking about the COLA and not the WEP and the GPO? Send me the question. I'll answer it in an upcoming broadcast. If you want to ask me, what does what is a COLA amount that is being talked about? I mean, send me these questions, and I'm happy to start answering them on the air for all of you. So, y'all, thank you so much. Have a great week. We have another big week coming up next week and a big show lined up for next Thursday. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you then. Be safe.